So here we are, we're going to be doing a little bit of grass seed sowing today, so a little bit of soil cultivation and sowing some grass seed. And so we're going to look at some grass for a hard wearing lawn, and we'll have a look at the seeds so you can identify which seed is for hard wearing, which is for soft wearing or for bowling green. Okay. One of the key things when you're choosing grass is to make sure you get the right type. So for a hard wearing lawn, you can see that from the table, ryegrass, Lolium peren or Lolium multiflorum is the right one. Nice and hard wearing, and it's very fast germinating as well. So that'll take all the hammer of children playing on it, or if you want to play sports. Red fescue is a grass that grows very well with bent grass. Bent grass grows horizontal to the ground, and red fescue grows like needles. So the two combined make a really good sort of bowling green or very fine turf mix. But red fescue is also used with ryegrass to complement it. Bent grass is very, very fine. Look how many seeds you get per gram, 10,000 seeds per gram. So you don't need much of it to sort of get a lawn established if you're doing a really fine lawn when you combine it with red fescue. So that's used for bowling greens and very fine turf. Poa pratensis, as you can see, 3,000 seeds per gram. Very tough grass. It grows in hot and dry and cold conditions. In America, they call it Kentucky bluegrass. So it's hard wearing, and it's often used in amenity parks. So this is ryegrass, big boat shapes, quite easy to identify, often the largest grass seed that you will see, and it can be much bigger than this. This is a turf type perennial ryegrass. On the second one, you can see that this is actually a fescue, and the way you can tell it's a fescue, it's got those little tails on the end of a number of the seed. So if it's got the tails, then you know you've got a fescue. That's the needle-like one. On the next one, this one is actually a smooth stalk meadowgrass. And if you were to get it in your thumb and finger, between your thumb and finger, you would see that it's quite angular when you roll it. And that's a very nice hard-wearing grass. The final grass is the bent grass, and you remember that's the one that you get 10,000 seeds per gram, and it's the finest seed that you tend to get. Here's some example of some mixes. So the first one is a mixture of fescue and bent. You can see the whip tails on it, so you can tell it's the fescue. And the very fine grass is the bent. So that would be suitable for a fine wearing lawn. In the second one, you've got ryegrass and some fescues, and that will be suitable for a hard wearing lawn. There are lots of other mixes, including mixes for shady areas, including the wood meadow grass and various other grasses. So it's worth spending some time making sure you've got the right grass seed in the mix. So one of the things we're going to do first is a bit of cultivation. Now Stevie here has done a sterling job. He's actually already screeded it and got it a lot level for me. So I'm coming in just after he's done all the donkey work. So if we were starting from scratch here, what you would do, you'd need to cultivate the soil. And if the soil is sticking to your boot, you want to keep off it. So you can see here that we're all right. It's not sticking to my boots. I'm not picking it up. I'm just about okay. Any wetter and it starts to get claggy and difficult. So what we do is just a little light fork. For grass seed, we need about 10 centimeters to sort of get grass established really well. So you just do a light fork, just tickling it over, and just really take it through. Remove any stones and any perennial weeds as you go. I'm just going to tickle this, give it one more rake a couple of ways. We'll have a look at that, and then we'll have a look at the marking out. So as you go, you can see there's one or two potatoes from the vegetable garden in there, and we'll just put them to one side. They would mow out, but it's better to keep them out. There's one or two weeds. There's a little bit of chickweed, or a little bit of spurge. This is actually, and just be careful with spurge. It's got like a milky latex in it, which can cause you a bit of harm. I'm going to put that to one side, and you can see we're nearly, just by forking it through quite quickly. You can use a twisting action on your fork, and it's a bit like eating spaghetti. You get the weeds wrapped around it, and it's quite a good technique, just a slight twist as you fork it through. So it's all forked over and we're ready to rake it over, give it a good rake out the whole area. So when it comes to raking out, you can use a small rake or a big rake or a blade. I find it a hay rake where you cut the teeth down to about 1.5 inches, about 30 mil. The key thing is when you rake it out, working over a bigger area, you can get it absolutely level a lot better because it's got a much wider blade. And you can see here it's already blading it, it's leveling it out. It just breaks up those little clods to leave a nice little fine tilth just for the grass seed to germinate into. And all you've got to do is to switch the direction of the rake. You can go that way and then switch the direction and go the opposite way to really sort of get a good sort of level finish. And you can go on the diagonal as well to finish. So by switching it around, you can get a really, really good finish on the tilth. So it's all nice and level. Any stones or potatoes or bits of weed or anything like that, just pull them off and put them to one side. So you create a really nice base. In some cases you can use a roller, but the problem with a roller is that it follows the contours. So a better way on a small area is to just use the gardener's shuffle in order to get it nice and level. The low spots, all you got to do is repeat that raking, and you're just going that final rake. Now this is what you're going to sow your seed into, and so you've got a nice firm bed, and we just rake that out, rake the stones off. You might have to do a little bit of scratching if it's gone a little bit hard, a little bit of scratching, and you can see here we want the grass to come right up and ideally be a fraction higher than the paving so you can mow over it without catching your mower, and just change the direction a little bit. There we go. You can see here the plus of the big rake, how well it's sort of, you know, keeping it nice and level. So the next step now we've got to do is to measure out our grass seed and to sow it at about 30 to 35 grams per metre squared. 30 will be fine today. I'll show you a little technique for how you can get the same measurement each time. Now, because if this is your first lawn, you may want to mark out the metre squared because you might be a little bit worried about it. After you've done 2 or 3, you'll just sort of put it on quite quickly. We've got quite a windy day today, so we're going to be sowing quite close to the ground. If you did want to use this technique, you can put the tape down the bottom, come 90 degrees off it, and just scratch it in to the ground. Okay, and you can just move your tape across, of course, and you can give yourself your metre squared. So I'll just do, I've already got the end one, so I'll just come up here, a metre, just put a mark on there. There's a metre, and we'll just square off one just to show you what it looks like. And when you've done a couple of metres squared, you'll get your distribution, you'll know exactly how much you need. So you don't need to measure out the whole lot. What you need to do is sort of see what it's like over 1 or 2, and you kind of calibrate then by looking at it. It's like snow falling on the ground, snowflakes. You can kind of see the pattern, and once you've got that, you're away. So what I'm going to do is just measure out a metre squared here, just so you can see it. So I've got that line, we'll just close that line off. And there we go, we've got our metre squared there. So we'll have a look at what the distribution looks like on that metre squared. The next thing we do is to weigh out about 30-35 grams. We're going to go for about 30 in this case. So just on an ordinary pair of scales. If you're using a container, like a little plastic or recycled cup, you can just hit the tare button on your scales. It weighs that. Start to put your seed in, and when you hit 30 or 35, you've got your amount of grass seed. And a little tip, what you can do is, if you've got something like this, you can cut the side down to the grass seed. Okay, we'll just bend that back a little bit. So we just snip that round. Okay. And what you've got then, you've got a little kind of measure. You can just keep dipping that into your grass seed bag or box or whatever you've got, and you don't have to keep sort of weighing it every time. So it's just a little tip you can do, and then you can pour it into your hand and sow it. Now, this time of year, we're in the autumn, so we don't need to put pre-seed fertilizer down. If you're in the spring, you'll probably add a bit of pre-seed fertilizer. But if we put pre-seed fertilizer in the autumn, it's going to start to grow lots of nitrogen. The frost's going to come, and it's going to knock it back and kill it. So you don't want that. You could put, if you wanted to, a little bit of bone meal, because bone meal, this is a bit of bone meal here, and that will add a bit of phosphorus, which is for root growth, so it won't put on the top growth. So if you wanted to, you could just put a handful per square metre. This is in really good condition, the soil, so we don't need anything really to add today. Okay, so just to have a look at the distribution, what you want to do when you're sowing is to put half the seed, try and divide the seed in two, so it's very windy, pop it into your hand, and then as you go, just have a look at how much you've got. You've got to spread that over the whole area going up and down, so I'm just going to kind of spread that over the area. Just need a little bit more there. And then what you do is you change direction. It's a little bit thin in the middle, so I'm going to change direction a bit and go the other way. And all I'm doing is sort of just drops down through your thumb and your index finger. And then if you've got any left, a little bit on the diagonal, just to finish it off. And now you've done that, you kind of know what the distribution rate looks like. And so you can sort of crack on and keep it at about that sort of pattern, and you should be fine. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to crack on, and then we'll have a look at the next stage, which is just passing the rake over to rake it in, and then we should be there. So just so you can see the technique here, you can see you get a little bit of a bit of a width on your spread, just letting out an even amount each time and just moving back, and you can see there you get this sort of action on, and you can get it quite even over the whole area. So you just sort of back and forth, you get this sort of, just like a spreader. So the final thing, just before the rain comes too heavy, we're just going to rake it in, and that just gets the seed in contact with the soil. It'll hopefully help disguise it a bit to stop the birds taking some of the seed, and it does give you a little bit last sort of bit of levelling. So just a very light rake, just to rake it in, and then with this rain, hopefully the soil's still warm enough for it to germinate, and rye will germinate the faster. So we've used ryegrass, hard wearing. So that should be up germinated within about 2 weeks. Whereas if we used the finer grasses like bents and fescues, they'd be, you know, could be a month and then it could be really cold. So this is okay for the ryegrass. So pass the rake over and then hopefully catch a bit of rain, and there'll be plenty of warmth in the soil from the summer, and that will hopefully in a couple of weeks time we can have a look and see how it's doing. There will be stones that will work their way to the top, and you just have to pick the stones off, wait until the grass is about 50 mil high, and then you can just top it, no more than topping it with a rotary mower. Certainly don't use a cylinder mower, otherwise it'll yank out the grass. So that's a few tips if you want to create a lawn, and you know, if you're converting from a vegetable garden to a lawn. And just thanks to Steve for doing all the hard work of moving the soil around, and thanks to Jason who's behind the camera today. And hopefully you can have a go at home and to create something that's maybe a little bit easier maintenance. Or you might want to go wildflowers, and of course you're going to be using yellow rattle and mixing in your wildflowers about 3 or 4 to 1. So grass seed, still plenty of grass seed, but fescue grass or something like that with your wildflowers and yellow rattle, and you can have an even lower maintenance garden. See you next time. Bye.